Smith was brought in a couple years ago to lead the franchise. Unfortunately, 10 games in, he had that gruesome leg injury, and now he is back at practice. But Zach, take us through a little bit about the timeline that he's gone through.
Yeah, so we're going to go all the way back to his time at Utah. Now, he was an exceptional player with those Utes. I mean, he threw for 5,200 yards, and in 2004, he was one of the top 4 finalists for the Heisman, and it was certainly deserved because in that year, he threw for nearly 3,000 yards and 32 touchdowns. And if that's not enough for you, he was a Mountain West Conference Player of the Year, and that standout season allowed him to be drafted #1 overall to the San Francisco 49ers. Now, he did beat out another notable quarterback there to get drafted. That's Aaron Rodgers. He fell all the way to 24 to the Green Bay Packers. And a fun fact about this that draft: there are only 3 active players remaining from that first round. It is Smith, Rodgers, and linebacker Thomas Davis, who was drafted by the Carolina Panthers at number 14 overall. So he spent 7 seasons with the 49ers, and it was a little bit of a tumultuous season to say the least. I mean, he started 75 out of 80 games, but he did go through injuries and two coaching changes. And he did meet some interesting people along the way. Jim Hostler, who is now the receivers coach here in Washington, and Norv Turner, who was Scott Turner's dad. And, they're both offensive gurus. Now, he did have a successful season in 2011 whenever Jim Harbaugh came there, and he led the 49ers to a 13-3 record and to an NFC championship. And they lost that game in overtime, but it looked like they were really going to be another top team to beat in 2012. But he got hurt, and it opened the door for Colin Kaepernick to take that job. And he eventually was traded to the Kansas City Chiefs for a second-round pick and a conditional pick.
Yeah, and he found a good amount of success with the Chiefs as well, right?
Yeah, he definitely did. I mean, he had 3 Pro Bowls, 4 playoff appearances, and he threw for 3,000 yards in every single season that he had played there. I mean, that's pretty much what you expect out of a guy like Alex Smith, right? I mean, this consistency on a global scale, and he the 2017 season really kind of turned over things for him because they fell to the Tennessee Titans in the wild card matchup, and that allowed them to be traded again to Washington for Kendall Fuller, a guy that we all know, and a third-round pick.
And a huge contract as well, right? We can't forget that. 4 years at $94 million. And unfortunately, look, one of the reasons he wants to come back is he wants to try and make good on that. But look, it was a huge deal that unfortunately we really didn't get to see him fully live out to.
Yeah, but we did see a really good stretch of about 9 games where he was a really good starter. 6-3, led the Washington team to a first place start in the NFC East. But we all know that was until the fateful day on November 18th, 2018, against the Houston Texans when they came to FedEx Field and Alex Smith broke his tibia and his fibia. But look, he has been working very hard. He has been going through this grueling rehab. He has basically gone as close to a life or death scenario as anybody can imagine. But he is back. He is on the practice field the past 2 days, and I honestly can't wait to see what he has in store for us next.
All right, we just chronicled his entire career there, which stretches over, again, 16 seasons. But one player who knows him pretty well was Vernon Davis because he played with him with the 49ers and in Washington. And this is what he had to say about Alex Smith.
Smith, he's probably the most resilient man I've ever met in my life. Going back to San Francisco, having multiple offensive coordinators, then being benched twice on the same team and going to Kansas City and just rejuvenating himself. He's everything that you want, when you look at someone who's a warrior and someone who's been through so much, he exemplifies that because he's gone through so much. And then to come to the Washington Redskins and break his leg, that was one of the worst injuries in sports. We'll probably never see an injury like that. It was truly difficult to watch, but to see how hard he's been working and to get to where he is right now, even having the opportunity to play football again when a lot of people counted him out. But he's been working. He's been putting in the work, and he still comes in that building with a smile on his face. So to be around Alex and just to feel his energy has been
Zach, I keep trying to figure out, will he legitimately play, realistically play? And I keep getting back the answer. He looks good now. We'll see when he has bodies around him, if he can protect himself. But if he can play and he's good enough, then they will play the best quarterback out there.
Yeah, and I know there are some people who out there and they doubt whether or not he can protect himself, but that was a concern for this coaching staff whenever they put him on the PUP list to start out, and they took him off it because clearly they think that he can and he has achieved that goal of being able to protect himself. Now, sure, he's got a long way to go before he's able to go out there and be in the game, because practicing and being in games is a very different thing. But I think you should be confident knowing that he's shown what he can do. This coaching staff is confident that he can go forward and he can go out there and he can do some things. He can make some throws on that leg. So, still a lot of questions, but there's a lot of good progress moving forward.
All right, well, our tab is officially started as Alex Smith is working his way back. He's just going through individual drills now. The team will further evaluate on when they want to ramp that up to the next level.